welcome to this lesson on the tune Not for Joe. In a few weeks time, the Morris side that I play for, Chelmsford Morris, we're off to Halesworth in Suffolk to do a day of dance, lots of Morris sides there, and there's going to be this mass dance. I think it's called Tanner's Rabbit, I might have that wrong, but anyway, we're going to do this tune, and I've developed this new way of doing the videos with split screens. I'm going to use this as a bit of an experiment, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's just teach you this tune. Nice and simple. It's in the key of G major. Now, I've written it out in 4/4, so it's actually played a lot faster than it's written, okay? I've said sprightly just to remind you of that, and we'll just scroll up a little bit here so we can see the whole of the A part in the music. So 1 sharp in the key signature means, well, it could be E minor, but it's G major, trust me. Like I said, 4/4. We're in position -1, which you may remember is finger 1 on a 4th button start. It will be button number 3. If you've got a 3rd button start, it'll be button number 2. Okay, so basically you're heading to your root note on the 2nd note of the bar. So it gives you that in the 1st bar. So you've got the right hand there, you've got D, G, D, G. It couldn't be much more straightforward, could it? Fingers 1 and 2, all on the push. And the bass line, G bass, G chord, G bass, G chord. And I use finger 4 on button 4, finger 3 on button 3. Not everyone does that, but I do. It makes a lot of sense to me. So I call it position -1, just in case you're interested, because if my first finger's on the root note, on the G here, and my fingers are laid out sequentially underneath that, I call that the home position, pos H for short. So when I come to here, I call that 1 back from that, pos -1. Okay, so there's your 1st bar, and very easy. You've got the same amount of items in the right hand as you have the left hand. Now in bar number 2, you've got F sharp, which is the same button that you played for D but pulled out. And then the next note you see has got a diamond head. So on my music, any notes on the main row, which, because this tune is in the key of G, the main row is the G row, have normal shaped heads. And any notes on the other row, which is the D row on this instrument, they have the diamond shaped heads. So you can see that we have the 2nd and 4th notes of this bar are both E's. And you find that on a 4th button start on button 4, on the 3rd button start, you'll find it on button 3, and we're pulling in this bar. So you've got F sharp and E, F sharp and E. Notice it's F sharp because of the key signature. So pulling all the way through the bar, and the left hand you move over to C bass, C chord, C bass, C chord. So it's these bottom 2 buttons again, but on the inside row. And again in this bar, you've got the same amount of items in the right hand as you have the left. So let's play those first 2 bars. Now you don't want to be sort of too turgid, dare I say it, with this. Keep it nice and bright and short. Like that. Very often with music like this, you know, the notes on the page don't really reflect how you play it. You know, I could cover this with, you know, loads of expression marks and staccato dots, but you basically need to use your ears. Okay, listen to how it sounds. So that's the first 2 bars. In bar 3, it's similar to bar 1, but got an extra G there. So the first 2 bars you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's pretty fast. I mean, it should really be 2, 4 on counting it. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and but you know, we're not. So there we are. So in bar 3, we've got D, G, G, D, G. So on that beat 2, you've got 2 G's while you play 1 chord like that. And notice with the bass, in case you don't know, the capital letters are the bass notes, the single sound if you like, and the lowercase, the little letters, are the chords. Okay, so G bass, G chord, G bass, G chord. So you count this bar 1, 2 and 3, 4. So in bar 4 we've got a mixture of pulling and pushing. We've got F sharp on the pull, G on the push, and then A on the pull. So F sharp we played this in bar number 2. Okay, so it's the same button as we play for D, but on the pull, finger 1. Button below push gives us G. Same button pulled out gives us A. So pull, push, pull. Crotchet, crotchet, minim. So you count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that last note is held for 2 beats. And the left hand there, D bass on the pull. Now we've got D's on the pull and the push on this instrument. On the pull, they're down here on these 2 buttons that we use for G bass, but on the pull. So there's your D bass on the pull, G chord on the push, and then D bass on the pull, and then D chord on the pull. So you got, that's your bass. And again in this bar, same amount of items in the right as in the left. So you've got, right, let's play those first 4 bars. Bar 5 is the same as 3, and bar 6 is the same as 2. And then in bar 7, and I went on to bar 8, because it wouldn't have made sense otherwise. In bar 7, we've got D as a minim, so 2 beats, 1, 2, and then you come up to B, 2 buttons below that. First time we played this note in the tune, notice it's a dotted crotchet. So it's going to come in on beat 3, last for the whole of beat 3, half of beat 4, and on the end count of beat 4 we'll play the A. So you've got, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and, so D on the push, B on the push, and A on the pull. And notice how the bass fits around that. G bass, G chord, G bass, G chord. And when you play that final A on the pull, make sure you've lifted off your bass, otherwise you'll have an unwanted D chord. In bar 8, push, pull, G, F sharp, G, A. Notice in bar 8, first note, you've got a little dagger underneath the note. Watch what I do here. So when I play that note, now I play the A at the end of bar 7 on the pull. I don't lift my finger off the button. I simply push the bellows in to sound that G on the push. You don't have to do that. By all means, you can press the button again if you prefer that. I happen to think it sounds nice. So G, F sharp, G, A, and it's G bass, D chord, G bass, D chord. Push, pull, push, pull. Right, so let's play the whole of the A part. Okay, so we're into the B part of the music now, bar 9, and you've got B, A, G, B, dotted crotchet, quaver, crotchet, crotchet, dagger underneath the G, so you can sound that G just by reversing the bellows, don't need to lift your finger and replay the note. And notice the bass line. On beat 4, a B bass. The reason we put that B bass in is because it's a lovely lead-in note to the C. Have a listen. See? So we often do this in the key of G, and when we've got loads of G basses, and it makes it a bit more interesting. So you've got G bass, G chord, G bass, and then B bass. So it's all on the push bass wise. The right hand, B, A, G, B. So when you play the A, that's a pull, but it doesn't coincide with a bass note. So you just lift your bass off momentarily while you play that A. So you do like that, and then nice easy bar for bar 10. C, A, C, all on the pull. Minim, crotchet, crotchet. 1, 2, 3, 4. C bass on the pull all the way through this. So, and then bar 11, same as bar 9, and then bar 12. We do what I often call the dance across the Ds. We do D on the pull, and then D on the push. And D on the push, I mark the Ds with asterisks when I want you to do the Ds on the push. So D bass D chord, buttons 4 and 3 on the pull, D bass D chord, buttons 2 and 1 on the push. And the right hand is A and F sharp on the pull, and then same button pushed in for the D, crotchet, crotchet, minim, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, let's play those first 4 bars. So bar 13, similar to 9, but I do an extra B, so B, B, A, G, B. So 1, 2 and 3, 4, crotchet, 2 quavers, crotchet, crotchet. Again, that dagger note on that second G. So push, push, pull, push, push. And then bar 14, same as 10. So bars 15 and 16. So bar 15 is B and G on the push, A and F sharp on the pull, and then bar 16, 3 Gs on the push, and then we've got our little cross row thing, F sharp, and then the E, the diamond headed note, which we played earlier on the D row. Bass line there, G bass G chord, this is bar 15, G bass G chord, D bass D chord, G bass G chord, G bass, and then D chord on the pull. So, and then you'll go back to the beginning. Let's play the whole of the B part now. I'm going to play the whole thing through for you. And by the way, you know, we don't do to the 3rd bar, but you can do that anywhere. You can do it on the 1st bar if you like. I'm just going to play it as written, and I'll play it through 2 or 3 times. Notice on the end there, obviously don't go on to the F sharp and E unless you want to go back to the beginning. So we are. If you're a fairly experienced Melodeon player, you won't have much trouble with this. I'd call this kind of a beginner to improvers piece, but good fun to play. I hope very much you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel, which is Daddy Longles, as it says up here. And you'll be able to download the sheet music from my website and print it out, and hopefully this will be up there for a while. We at the moment are worrying an awful lot about something called Article 13, which you may or may not have heard about, where YouTube are going to have to take down any video that might have a copyright infringement. And I don't know how old this tune is, whether it still is in copyright, but anyway, that remains to be seen. But if you're one of my students watching this, don't worry, because even if all the videos get taken down, I'll be able to make a provision so that you'll be able to get to the videos, all right? So please don't worry. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.